Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BT Talks. I think we're on to 16. I am actually going to have my good friend and real estate rock star, David Dubin, who is also a colleague at Douglas Elliman. He's based in New York City. He is a legend. He's the man. So I'm just waiting for him to join us. I see a few people that are joining us from all over the world. I see Bene. Thanks for joining from Switzerland. So bear with me a little bit until David comes. As you can see, I am live from my roof deck here in Brickell. It's a very nice day here in Miami. And David will be live from his roof deck in New York City. So bear with me, David will join. So this is going to be a really cool conversation. You'll get to know who David is. Milty is joining. Thanks for joining. And there's the David. All right. There he is.
Here I am.
All right. Mr. David Dugan, welcome to BT Talks. It's a pleasure to have you as a guest.
It's a pleasure to be invited.
So first of all, I want to make sure everybody can hear us because the sound is very important. And then we'll get going with the conversation. All right, since everything is fine. So David, welcome. Thank you for joining. So we're going to start the conversation, first of all, by introducing who you are. You are a dear friend of mine from New York City. We know each other from quite a few years. You have a very interesting path. You've been in the real estate business for a long time. You're a colleague at Douglas Elliman. Tell us a little bit about who you are, because some people don't know you, but a lot of people know you as well. But give us a little background of who you are, how you got started into real estate. What did you do before real estate? And we'll talk about New York and Miami and all these different things. But first, introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm David Dubin, and I live in this amazing city, New York City, Manhattan. And I'll give you a little background on David Dubin. Before my real estate career, which is about 20 years, I was in the jewelry business. And my wife and I owned our own jewelry company. And it was a great experience. We had great success, and eventually things started to change, and we decided to move on into other directions. And I decided to go into real estate. And like everything else I've ever done in my life, I've just basically pounded the pavement, knocked on doors, and I entered real estate without really having any experience in real estate. And I built a business. I guess I have entrepreneurship in my blood. And as I said, I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's been a great 20 years. And I work very hard. I'm very diligent. I work 24/7, and I'm very passionate about what I do.
I just want to put a little parenthesis. David is, I think, one of the hardest working people I know. And also is very creative. You have an incredible creativity, and I think that's very important in our business. So tell us a little bit about your experience in New York real estate, because New York, I also, worked in real estate in New York prior to Miami. It's one of the toughest markets in the world, but it's also one of the most exciting cities in the world. Tell us a little bit about New York City real estate.
Well, New York City real estate is very unique. People love to hear about real estate stories, about my experiences. It's very different. I guess it's sort of similar to Miami, because real estate is sexy, and people just love to hear real estate stories. It's not like selling real estate in the suburbs. It's very unique, and New York City is truly it's one of a kind. I mean, there's no other New York City in the world. And I'm very fortunate to live in New York City and to work in New York City. I've lived in New York City in a co-op apartment for the past 31 years, and I consider myself lucky. When I got into real estate, uh, as I said before, I knew nothing about real estate, and I just uh, needed to make this successful. And I just worked very hard, and I did not enter real estate when I was young. So I had a career, a few careers
You,
before real
yeah,
estate.
yeah, you have to. I think real estate, wherever you work, whether it's in Miami, in New York, in Los Angeles, you have to work hard and smart. But you also have to do strategic collaborations. You have to be creative. That's the beauty of the business. And we're very lucky, I think, both of us and anybody that's in the real estate business, to be able to see such beautiful properties, unique properties, and sell these properties and meet. Also, the beauty of it is meeting all these great people. I mean, I'm sure within 30 years of being in the business, you met some incredible people.
I've met some amazing people, names that you would know, but I'm not going to reveal them because I'm very discreet as well. And I was lucky because of my hard work. I got involved in certain deals and situations that you just it was just an amazing experience for me. And it just it as you said before, you have to work smart and you have to be creative. You have to brand yourself. You have to be unique.
It's true. And now, as we were discussing in prior, phone conversation, the industry is changing, the world is changing, so we have to adapt, and we have to do things differently. And I think that's real for real estate, but for a lot of businesses. How has this whole, I guess, I don't want to just say pandemic, but 2020 affected the way you work and the things you're doing?
Well, first of all, when I first got into real estate, I mean, it was everything has changed. Technology has changed tremendously. I mean, I'm the Rolodex generation, so uh, now with iPhones and uh, being able to do so much on your iPhone or iPad, uh, you are always connected, and that's changed real estate for the better, in my opinion. The pandemic has really been a tremendous impact on real estate, living, every industry. It's You know what, you have to adapt. I mean, you can't let something like the pandemic uh, take over your life, and you just have to adapt. You have to work through it. And yes, real estate has changed drastically because of the pandemic, and we were in lockdown for months, and we basically could not work, and we had to be in touch with our clients, and we had to walk them through this process. And when things opened up again, everything changed. It's to show an apartment today. I mean, with all the COVID forms and things that you have to fill out and have your buyers and other brokers sign, uh, there's so many layers to real estate today that we never experienced before.
And how, I mean, so you've been, obviously there was a slowdown. Now things, I mean, picking up, but slowly. I mean, I'm not in New York City right now. I see from far. But what are your thoughts on, I mean, there's a big movement, obviously, that are, we see it everywhere, that's coming to Miami and South Florida, which is good for us. I mean, the market here is quite active. But New York is a very strong and resilient city. And, it may take time, but what is your thought on New York real estate? Because it's a very unique city and there's exceptional properties.
Well, as you said, New York is very resilient. New York always bounces back. We will bounce back. It will take time. I've seen more activity in real estate. I've experienced more showings. There's more interest. I have a few properties in contract. I'm working with buyers, and it is the moment for the buyer. I mean, to buy New York City real estate today, uh, if you're smart, somebody, the smart buyer will purchase New York City real estate today because I don't know when you'll ever see these prices again.
Okay.
And uh, I've seen an increased interest in real estate as time goes on, and I have more showings now than I had a month ago.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on overall, we're going to speak a bit about the future of real estate, and then we'll jump to something, a little maybe more light about life and our routines and how we built our business and all that. But what are your thoughts on real estate today, whether you're in Miami, New York, Europe, it does not matter. How do you see real estate over the next few years?
Look, people always are, people move, people want changes, people are always looking to uh, either purchase a second home or downsize or upsize. I mean, there's always movement. So real estate is will continue. We will get through this, and I just feel that uh, it will take time. I don't know how long it will take, but there is deals are getting done. I see the reports. Last week, we saw more contracts signed in $4 million and above range than we saw the same week a year ago. So things are happening. I'm not saying it's boom. I'm not saying it's booming, but things are getting done. Contracts are getting signed. So
So yeah.
we're moving. We're moving.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I want to know what's the typical day of David Dugan. Usually, I mean, days can change, but I know you're someone who has, certain routines, and I'm like that as well. I think it's very important. But what is the typical day of David Dubin in New York City in real estate?
Well, everything has changed because of the pandemic, and I work out religiously 7 days a week. And now I always worked out after work in the evening, and now that uh, I don't go to the office as much as I do because everyone has adapted, and I've learned to work from home, and I'm on all my devices. So I tend to go for a run early in the morning, and then my day gets started, and I'm always checking my emails. I'm always answering phone calls, and then I'm scheduling appointments, doing my showings. So my day is sort of has changed a little, but I find that my workout is very important to me, and I'm very healthy. I have to I have to do I take care of myself as well as business. So
That's super important.
yes.
So
So yes, I'm sorry.
no. So I had another question that is very unique to you. So since I know you, I mean, that's also something that caught my eye. Where did you get that sense of style? Because David Dubin always has good style. And I think that's very important. I mean, you present yourself well, and it makes you stand out. You have your personality, of course, but on top of your personality, it's like, you have a good style. So where did that come from?
Well, it's sort of interesting because since I was a child, I always style was always important to me, and I had parents. My mother and father were very style conscious. They were always well dressed, and I've always been like this. So there's never been a time in my life that style has been unimportant to me. I never leave my home without looking right. I'm always dressed. I don't. I feel it's important. This is my brand, and style is something that I just. It's something that I consider important. I would not ever show an apartment unless I was dressed appropriately. I'm not. The pandemic has changed me somewhat because I'm not wearing a necktie every day like I used to.
Yeah,
So
but
now,
I think it's also very important, we all have our own sense of style. I mean, some people do not, but I think it's also very important to be yourself. And I think something I love about you is it's really your style. You're not trying to be someone else. And, you know, it makes a difference.
Look, I do feel that it's, I think dressing appropriately, whether it's dressed as you are or dressed the way I am, it's it's respectful. And I think when you're, uh, especially conducting business, I think it's disrespectful to arrive at a showing and not be dressed appropriately. I'm not saying you have to wear a three-piece suit and a tie, but you know, and it doesn't matter what my clients are, how they're dressed. They could be in shorts and they can wear whatever they want. But for me, I'm conducting business, and I will always be dressed appropriately.
Yeah. So another question I have. So, you know, we've been in, you know, in this whole pandemic, and it's still not over. I mean, hopefully it'll be done at some point. We all kind of miss travel. When we'll be able, you know, I mean, I can travel because I'm French and American, so I have, you know, the two passports.
Don't
But
rub it in.
where are you going to travel? What is it when you're able to travel? What's the destination on your mind, and why?
Well, this year, this past summer, our plans were to go to Italy, and Italy is always a great destination for us. My wife and I love to travel, and hopefully we'll be able to do that trip next summer. So I'd like a plane. Um, I do. I do feel that Europe travel to us is important. We love the cultures. We love the civilization. Uh, we are partial to France, Italy. We have friends in Paris and London, but we've traveled all over. We've been to Greece. We've been to Israel. We've been to a lot of the European countries.
So
And
so most likely you're going to Europe.
well, it's if we can, Europe is definitely in our plans.
Cool. And so last question I have is, I know a lot of people read or listen to books or podcasts. Are you more someone who reads books, or do you listen to podcasts? And why?
I definitely am a reader. I enjoy reading it. I actually read my novels on my iPhone, and if I'm on the subway, I can be reading. Wherever I am, I can read, and I enjoy. I read fiction for the most part, and which I really enjoy, and uh, I read a lot of books. I like thrillers. I like books on World War II, the Holocaust. I like novels which relate to history.
Very cool. Well, David, we're coming to end of this BT Talk episode. Thank you so much for being such a great guest. And I look forward to seeing you soon, whether it's in Miami or in New York. I don't know if it's going to be the next few weeks or few months, but for sure we have to get together.
Well, I would love that. Hopefully,
And
I'll get to Miami in the near future.
for sure. And everybody who's watching, thank you so much for joining my BT Talks. Of course, make sure to stay connected. Follow also David Dubin. I think it's David Dubin NYC, right? Is that your handle?
Yes.
You'll see he's a very creative guy. He's one of the best guys in New York for all things real estate, and fundamentally, he's a fantastic person. So
Well,
you know,
thank you.
if you don't
So
know
are
David,
you.
thank you so much, appreciate it. Make sure to connect with him. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next BT Talks, have a fantastic day. Thank
Ciao.
you. Bye.
Bye.